What's up, everybody? Welcome to the POVincent podcast here in the River's Edge Online Radio Network. I'm your host, Vincent Tidiano, giving you my point of view on movies. And once again, joining me is my friend, my co-host, the film fatale, Jay.
Hello.
So, Jay, we last week we finished off the Terminator franchise.
We did.
The last for now. They'll probably give another 5 years of
I'm sure, yeah. They're going to try to fuck it up again.
They'll be like, James Cameron's involved in this one. He's a producer or something.
Something.
Which doesn't mean anything. I found out through my journey to understand films, it's actually pretty easy to get a producer credit on stuff.
It is, actually. It's funny that you say that, because this is one of those films where someone was given a producing nod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll get to that. But anyway, so if you haven't caught any of our episodes on the Terminator franchise, please go check those out. Because we went through all 6. But now we're in October. We're in the spooky months.
Yeah.
I'm wearing my pumpkin T-shirt.
You're ready.
Because that's what you do. Because I really don't have a lot of Halloween type stuff. And we're going to get started into a franchise that it has it's one of those cult classic films.
It really is.
You're the fan. This is
this is one of my favorite movie trilogies.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it and then let's talk about The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
So this is one of the biggest cult films of all time. Mm-hmm. And, the sequels, we'll get into it, but I feel like we were talking a little bit earlier about the sequels technically being the bigger ones, but this is the thing that got it started. And this is going to be quite the reversal for you and me because, you had never seen the Terminator movies before. Me, right. I'm being a boy born in the 80s, living.
Of course, you saw them.
Yeah, I've seen all of them. I knew stuff about them. The Evil Dead franchise, I have seen all the movies, but I've only ever seen the first 2 once each before now. Mm-hmm. I've seen Army of Darkness a bunch of times because that was the only one that was ever aired on television.
TV,
because you could you could actually edit that one enough where it could be good enough for TV.
Yeah, you can.
And I have seen the first 2 seasons of the Evil Dead of Ash versus the Evil Dead series. I didn't see season 3. I just haven't gotten around to it. No excuses. But yeah, this is good because so I'm going to let you go off. You're a fan before we actually get into the movie proper. Tell me why you're such a big fan.
I don't know. I always have liked horror as a genre, but I've also really liked campy films as well. So I grew up watching the really campy Batman movies, movies that have very clear claymation style gore. Fantastic. And this is definitely one of those movies, one of those franchises that has just these really ridiculous special effects throughout it. It's hilarious. The acting is really good, especially in the second one, which we'll get into next week. But Bruce Campbell does a phenomenal job as this character. Between him and Sam Raimi, this is just such a cult classic because it's hilarious. It's well written B horror. And if you like B films, this is the ultimate B movie essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, this when most people think of Bruce Campbell, they probably think of him in this franchise.
Unless you're my mom, and then it's The Burn Notice.
I was funny was in that. I never watched it, but I was like, oh hey, Bruce Campbell's in that. I might watch it. I didn't. I was like USA Network, unless it's a rerun of Monk. I wasn't probably watching USA.
Oh, same.
Monk. I was rewatching with my dad. It was repeating on some channel a few weeks ago. I was rewatching with my dad. That show holds the fuck up.
It does. It does.
Oh, but anyway, enough of Tony Shalhoub. We got to talk about. The Evil Dead. Jay, if you're ready, give us the trivia download.
So this came out in 1981. It was written and directed by Sam Raimi, produced by Robert Tappert. Bruce Campbell did become an executive producer because he put his parents' house up on the market to ensure that this film would be made.
Holy shit.
This is like this is also Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi's like big debut.
Oh,
like Sam had this was based on a short film that he had written and directed, and then expanded upon, and this was Bruce's first like big role. So we all know that it stars Bruce Campbell as Ashley Williams. Ellen Sandweiss plays Cheryl Williams. That's Ash's little sister. Richard D. Mancourt plays the character Scott, who is like Ash's best friend. Betsy Baker plays Linda, and Teresa Tilley plays Shelley. And Sam Raimi is actually in this film as well. He plays the hitchhiker, like the hitchhiking fisherman.
Oh,
so
I didn't even notice
he
that.
He has a cameo in the film as well. It is filmed in a real like abandoned cabin as well. So they found some abandoned cabin, and I guess did a B. As Dane Cook says, they did a B&E on it, and they just broke in and started filming.
You know what? I thought that because I was watching the film. I was like, this doesn't look like a set. This looks like an old, crappy cabin.
It's just an old, crappy cabin.
And I was like, did they have a friend who owned it? Because they're really just like breaking a lot of stuff. Like
they just found it.
Shelves just get fucked up in this film.
I'm sure that they found, like, they got permission, but they did just find. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they didn't. Who cares? Like, who cares? It worked.
That would have been hilarious. Somebody's like years later, they're like they're somebody's watching the TV. They're walking through the living room. They look at the TV. And they're like, is that Uncle Ben's old cabin? What the fuck? Like, that's right, Uncle Ben, Peter Parker's Uncle Ben. He owned that cabin. Sam Raimi directed Spider-Man movies. It's all connected. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, so the basic plot of this movie is a very simple plot. A group of friends, young friends, people in their 20s, they go out to have like a weekend away in a cabin in the woods, but evil demonic spirits are in the forest due to a archaeologist's findings that release these demonic spirits, and they're possessing the people in the cabin. And the people, the Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon. I don't think they actually call it the Necronomicon in this one, do they? Did I miss it?
I think. Hold on.
I don't think it gets the name for the second
what
movie.
It's actually called in this movie.
Yeah, because they say something kind of different. I don't think it's called the Necronomicon for the second film.
I can't pronounce Latin. I'm really sorry, guys. It's like Naturam Demonto. It's like I assume that's like a book of demons. I don't know.
She's a huge fan, people.
but it later does become the Necronomicon, and that is what it is most famously known as.
Yeah, the Necronomicon.
This book that is made of human flesh and penned in blood. Like.
Oh my god! Yeah, but anyway, for this movie, so this movie starts. One of the things because this is such a cult class. So let's get out some of the stuff that's like kind of a problem for the film, but kind of not. Usually in a film like this, where it's like horror film, a bunch of young friends, we're gonna go out to this place and party and drink and have a good time and get away from the city and all that stuff. Usually there's a scene of them still in the city, saying like, oh, we're gonna get away, and then we get to know the characters. Like, oh, you're the goofy one, you're the serious one, you're the alpha male, you're the nerd, you're the prissy one, or you're the privileged one, or nope, they're on the road to the place, and we really don't get to know the characters that much.
No,
it's all kept pretty basic, because like this movie doesn't waste any fucking time.
It doesn't. It gets right into it.
Yeah,
which is also really nice. It's a very fast film.
Yeah,
and it keeps your attention. And the effects are just really good.
Yeah,
the pacing is pretty good. Effects. They did use live ammunition in this movie, by the way.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they did use live ammunition.
They couldn't have just used some. Like, I'm not a gun guy, but I'm like, well, couldn't you just like emptied out the shotgun shells and the gunpowder, leave it in there, and still make a boom, wouldn't it? Or
nope, they just used live ammunition.
Wow,
someone could have died.
Wow,
for our entertainment.
Damn. But anyway, yeah, that's something where like we really don't really accept the characters. I think the movie now, whether that was purposeful or not, I don't know, because this is like their first film together. But maybe it's just like young director writer's mistake of.
I feel like it might be intentional, because Ashley really does become the focal point, and every other character is kind of there to just become possessed.
Yeah. It's unclear as who the main character is going to be at first.
Right, no, it's
that
unclear,
first 20 minutes
nice,
to a half an hour is kind of like
I feel
kind of like an alien.
I
We're
feel
like
like
Sigourney
the first
Weaver,
time I saw this, I wondered if it was Cheryl, his sister.
Yeah. Who I didn't even know that was his sister until halfway through the film.
Yeah, they mention it. Like, that's his weirdo little sister, and he brought her along to be nice, and she's weird.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even know that because, like, once again, the movie doesn't take time to really set up the characters because this movie, is all about, if you're the super fan, so you tell me, this movie is all about the atmosphere and tone.
And I feel like the effects as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like, it's really built around, we're going to make a gory zombie demon movie.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie is... when Sam Raimi does, like, horror stuff, he gets really fucking gross. Like, have you ever seen Drag Me to Hell?
Yeah.
That movie gets gross, man. That's a gross fucking film.
These films are also, like, pretty gross.
Yeah. They're really...
a lot of oozing...
Yeah.
Of liquid body fluids.
Yeah,
blood and just grossness.
Blood and pus and different shades of pus. One thing I thought at one point I'm pretty sure that I saw like creamed corn. I think it looked like.
Oh yeah, no. So like
creamed
the
corn
things
and
that
milk.
they used as like. It's just so well done, though, because it's so hilarious.
Yeah, the stuff that really, I think, shows, like, the amateur level, and I think it just adds to the charm of the film that this group of, like, people who really didn't have much, they had a passion for film, they have knowledge of film, but they didn't really have probably that much experience at the time, is that, they do try to be very creative with special effects. There's the one scene where the one demon-possessed character, I can't remember if it was Scott or Cheryl at the time, but they're decomposing and they're using the time-elapse claymation style.
Yeah, I love the claymation.
But then
in this film.
Yeah, but then there's a part of it where it's like it's not claymation; it's like oozing the pus like liquid. So it looks like they took the two images and put them over each other. I don't know, maybe they chroma keyed it in or something like. This is like early '80s.
Like,
I really don't know
the film.
Yeah.
And
I'll be honest. Like when it's certain special effects from certain like earlier time periods, I'm not as like familiar with. But it was a nice attempt. But
you had to be very inventive. And I
totally.
think that this is absolutely a film where you can see how inventive they were. Because, there are parts where you're looking at something and you're like, that kind of looks like cottage cheese, or like they use some kind of cheese for the pus.
Yeah.
But it works, and it's really funny.
Yeah. Now, where like the special effects kind of like go, like when after some of the people get possessed and they're like their bodies are like mutating or decomposing, so they're just getting like nasty looking, is like when you like some of the facial prosthetics, like you can tell at points like they're wearing masks because you can literally like clearly see the lining of the mask on the face.
They also wore these white contacts, the actors, while they're possessed, and this is before comfortable contacts were really a thing. So those were extremely painful to wear.
Oh shit!
So they could only be worn for about 15 minutes. So they would film for 15 minutes and then they'd cut so that the actor could take the contacts out and like rest their eyes, because it blocked the eye off from any oxygen, which is a no. That's not good.
Yeah. No. Yeah, but I do like the fact that you brought up the eyes, because the whole eyes thing is something that is set up in the film. There is a focus, we're going to talk about some of the camera work in this film in a minute, but when he opens the, I'm just going to call it the Necronomicon. I know it's got a different name in this first film. But,
when he opens the book.
Yeah, he opens the book. There is a page featuring sketches about eyes and demon. Like it's written some kind of ancient. It's Kanda is the name of the ancient society that the book came from. There's a page about eyes and how the eyes will turn when you get possessed,
change.
And then scene in the movie where
it gives you clues about what's about to go down.
Ash, when he's giving his the present to his girlfriend, like there's a close up on the eyes. There's a lot of camera angles from the point of view of the demons when you can't see them before they possess somebody. There's a lot of there's a lot of things going on with eyes here in this film. And I think it's to show not only the transformation, it's okay, if someone's possessed, their eyes are fucking going, definitely. But maybe also maybe it's like a throwback to that old saying, the eyes are the windows to the soul. I don't know if that's what Sam Raimi is going for, but he's definitely focusing on eyes play a theme and vision and how all that stuff gets played in this film. So I think that's why he was going through windows to the soul deal.
Yeah, that typically tends to be the thing.
But yeah, no. I think for an amateur film, once again, there's definitely some interesting cinematography, like the classic, like the demon roaming through the forest, and it's all from the point of view, that happens in all the films.
Yeah.
Just all these crazy close-ups and the camera moving frantically, especially the frantic parts. This movie definitely
I'm
tries.
assuming that it's a lot of dolly work.
It has to be.
Yeah, it has to be a lot of dolly work, but it's beautifully done. Especially for an amateur film.
Yeah.
A lot of the forest scenes where it feels like you're moving with the branches as they crawl along the forest or whatever presence is there. It definitely builds the atmosphere too, that something is coming. And it starts immediately. That something is coming to this cabin to fuck these kids up, and it does. It definitely,
not wasting any time at all.
No, definitely fucks them all up.
Yeah.
No, it really doesn't waste any time because right from the beginning, you have Cheryl she's drawing that clock, and she starts hearing voices, and this is also very typical of a zombie film or a horror film where the loner in the group is targeted first because they're vulnerable and they're easy to target, and that definitely happens here. And it freaks her the fuck out.
Yeah, I mean Cheryl gets it the worst out of
Cheryl does get it. She really does get it the worst.
Yeah, there's a scene in the movie.
It's very gruesome.
Yeah, a scene that's just completely focused on Cheryl that I don't know. I feel a little uncomfortable talking about because it's one of those kind of scenes.
It's definitely a trigger warning worthy scene.
Yeah.
However, it's also a scene that's very well done.
Yeah,
effects wise, so it's hard not to talk about it.
Yeah.
And it is probably the most famous scene in this particular Evil Dead film, I would say.
It's memorable.
It's very memorable.
It's well done, but it's once again
because it's definitely the most memorable scene from the first movie. And the one that probably gets talked about the most. So we're not we don't have to get into a lot of details with it because I feel like everybody knows what happens. Yeah. But as far as the effects go, it's a believable scene because of the way that they move the tree branches and the actress is very believable.
Yeah. Because Cheryl's getting tied up in the trees and the branches and the vines, and you can do they're doing a lot of the whole okay, well we're gonna wrap it around, we're gonna wrap the vine or the rope, how they do in the movies, and then we're gonna pull it off, and then we put it on, but then we'll reverse the video to make it look like it's coming on.
Yeah, they reversed it is what they did, but they did a very good job of it because it's a very creepy movement that these trees do.
Yeah, you Cheryl's terror, you're feeling it with her.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Yeah.
And poor she really does. She gets the worst of it.
Yeah.
Because she's just trying to escape, and then she has to run back to the cabin, and unfortunately, she is the first to get possessed.
Yeah. And of course she becomes a famous one that's underneath the door to the basement where it's they chain it down, but there's enough wiggle room where she can put her eyes out and she's screwing with them. And that's another thing about this film is the demons aren't just it's not just a gore. The movie it's
like a psychological manipulation.
Yeah. It's giving you the gore and the bodies being torn apart and getting chopped up. It's giving you that, but it's also it adds a psychological factor. So it's trying to do both, and I think it works because this is the cabin in the woods scenario. We're in a very small confined space.
It absolutely works, and especially in this film, it builds as it appears that Ash becomes the main protagonist. It's this buildup of him just losing his goddamn mind.
Yeah.
Because his sister gets possessed, his best friend gets possessed, his best friend's girlfriend is dead and possessed, and then his girlfriend is possessed, and the demons are fucking with him by changing, like occasionally someone's face will change and it'll be like, Ash, I'm so sorry. Like you gotta help me.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's back to being a demon, because it was always a demon.
Yeah.
They're just fucking with him.
But anyway, let's talk about Bruce Campbell's character, Ash, who his character in this one is so different than in the following movies.
Yeah,
in the following,
absolutely.
Yeah, because in the following movies, people know, like, when you think of Ash Williams, of the evil, you think of this, like...
You think of the catchphrases.
Groovy, this swashbuckling kind of character who,
Shop smart, shop S-smart.
Exactly. But he's not. He's just a normal dude. He's not like, like in the, you think of him like with a chainsaw, but
they are like just college students.
Yeah.
He is a very normal college student in this film.
Yeah. There's like the scene where like they him and Scott are confronted by I think they're fighting is it Linda? No, it's who
Shelley.
They're
fighting Shelley.
They're fighting Shelley, and Ash has the woodsman's axe, and he's like, he's terrified. When you think Ash Williams, you think, oh, he's gonna but no,
right.
this original Ash, he's terrified up against a wall, and he can't do it. He can't kill his friend, even as what's going on. So Scott grabs the axe and starts chopping the shit out of her, and and then
like, this was the girl that he was sleeping with. And he's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Who cares? I'm getting out alive.
Yeah. Like Scott has this kind of like not hero moment, but it's a little like. Well, it kind of makes sense for Scott, because Scott's probably the one character that's developed the most. He's the alpha male, likes playing tricks on people, kind of
he's like a lax bro. That's how I would describe him. And okay, like, I've seen the musical, and I feel like that's definitely how the musical plays him up. But yeah, guys, there's an Evil Dead musical. If you didn't know, it's fantastic. It develops these characters even more, which is very funny.
Oh yeah.
But Scott's just kind of a jerk.
Yeah.
But not like. He's your very stereotypical, like, this dude was probably super popular in high school and might have bullied a few kids, and he thinks he's better than everyone else. And that's Scott.
Yeah, which, the reason why I probably make, because, he's, if you're, whether you're a big bully or you're a guy who doesn't realize, how much, the kind of bully where, like, you don't realize how much you're hurting people, do you?
Yeah.
I think Scott is that kind.
I don't think it's very intentional being a jerk, because...
He just likes the attention.
Because, like, he's pretty mean to Cheryl, but I think that, like, he is made to feel some guilt about it.
Yeah.
Until shit hits the fan.
Yeah. When shit does hit the fan, he's ready to, it's in self-defense. But there's that part of it where he's like...
It's okay, guys. It's in self-defense.
It's in self-defense, but where Ash is hesitant, he's just like, go for it.
Right.
And he's literally ready to, bail.
His fight or flight is much quicker.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it doesn't really help him much.
No, because they're like, we got to get out of here. And Ash is like, and they're like, and Scott's like, there's got to be an old road around or a walkway around the mountains, a path or something. And like, Ash is like, Linda's injured. She can't walk on that. And he's like, fuck you, I'm going anyway.
The demon stabs her in the ankle with a pencil, which is also just like a really well done special effects.
Yeah.
Like it you feel it. It hurts.
Yeah.
It's like, no thank you.
Yeah. Oh my God. So then Ash, eventually does become, the last, usually in a lot of horror movies, it's like the last, what's the term? The last girl?
Like
the final girl.
The final girl.
The final girl.
The final girl.
It's the final man in this one. And he literally, he goes through so much, once again, they start pouring on the psychological stuff that we were talking about. The horror, all of his friends are dead or monsters, and it's just very. God, I know we already talked about. God damn it, gets so disgusting in this film. The gore factor. It's not just like blood and guts.
I feel like
pus
we have
and
to. I feel like we're gonna have to do a scale of like 1 to 10 gore for this, though, because if you think that this one was gory, like the next one is. The next one's so gory.
I know. Well, the next one's the one we bring in his the identity that we're with the chainsaw and everything.
We literally watch this character go mad, and this is the film in which it begins.
Yeah.
And you get to see this dude in one single night just loses his sister, his best friend, some random girl that his best friend's fucking, his girlfriend that he was. I mean, he gives her that that present. So, which I don't know if it's supposed to be taken as like a promise declaration, but that's kind of what I was getting from that scene. Like, this is the woman that he would have intended to like probably, or he probably thought he was going to live the rest of his life with this person, and he has to kill her because she gets possessed by demons.
Yes.
And murder his own little sister because she's possessed by demons.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the kind of demons
Poor
where
Ash.
you could. Yeah. Because these aren't the kind of demons like the Evil Dead, like who later become known as Deadites.
Yes, they are Deadites.
Once they possess you, there's no real ejecting them. It's a very rare instance where they eject, because once someone gets possessed, that's it. You have to destroy them now. There's only very rare moments in like the franchise where someone's able to push the demon out, or someone's able to get the demon out of them. Very rare, but that's just how the movie is. Like, I mean, like I said, I've watched the first 2 seasons of the TV series, and TV series did not hold back. Like, I remember watching like an interview with one of the characters, and they said like, you know, like they're like they use so much blood, fake blood.
I mean, I feel like it's very evident in the TV show that Sam Raimi was very excited to have a budget, because they didn't have that for this film. Like, they had no budget, which is why, I can't remember what, like, the blood is made out of Caro syrup, non-dairy creamer, and red food coloring. That's what the blood in this film is made out of.
Sounds about right.
And they used so much of it, and Bruce Campbell got so drenched in it that at one point he took off a shirt that was covered in this fake blood, and it dried out. And when he tried to put it back on, it shattered, like it broke.
Whoa!
Like it solidified his shirt and broke his shirt, which is just so weird.
I feel like we just gave a bunch of people some fun prank ideas.
Oh, yeah.
Want to fuck somebody over?
Kids, you can make some really cool fake blood that ruins your clothes forever. Don't try this at home. Oh, your moms will not be happy.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I think from this movie, when you see, like, once again, for amateur filmmakers, the amount of creativity and obviously passion and hard work went into it, I think it really shows how Sam Raimi went from being that guy to the guy that made like the Spider-Man movies. And you know, because those movies are still great. You know, the first 2, you know, the third one, studio interference, especially if it's Sony, is a bitch. That
sometimes. Yeah, Sony really does know how to fuck up a project.
Yeah, which, you know, I've rewatched the third one. It's like, I still don't think it's a good movie, but I don't know. I feel like I've softened on it a bit.
Is the third one the one with Pizza Time, though? I'll give it that. Or
Pizza Time?
Pizza Time, the pizza song. Never mind. If you know,
Are we still talking about Spider-Man?
Yes.
Okay. I know he was a pizza delivery guy in the second one.
Okay.
Yeah. He's web slinging and delivering pizzas, but no, I don't think he's still doing. If I remember correctly, yeah, he's not doesn't do the pizza in the third one. Yeah, no.
He does that real weird dance in the third one.
Oh, I think I remember.
That one's
it's been a while since I've seen the second one, but yeah, no. And I'm excited because Sam Raimi is going to be the director for Doctor Strange 2.
I did see that.
Yeah, Doctor Strange.
No, it's really
the
cool
multiverse of madness
to see how his career has blossomed from this to that.
Yeah,
it's incredible.
Yeah, and him and Bruce Campbell have stayed tight all these years.
Oh, absolutely.
Because all those
really
movies, they were, you know, Bruce Campbell had cameos in the Spider-Man movies, which a lot of people thought, you know, which apparently I can't remember whether it was just a fan theory or Raimi confirmed this, but it was eventually going to be shown that the reason why you keep seeing Bruce Campbell as a different guy in each movie is because he's actually Mysterio, and these were all tests for his like illusion technology.
That's so funny.
But I don't think they were going to get right, because the fourth one was going to be the Vulture. That's what Sam Raimi wanted to do in the fourth Spider-Man movie. But yeah, I mean, because he also did that one. Then he was the guy behind the Hercules and Xena TV shows, which Bruce Campbell got a character in those too.
Yeah, he got a lot of cameos in Sam Raimi's projects.
Yeah, because they were friends before this project. They guys know each other since way back in the day. Yeah, no, it's it's interesting to see the beginnings of a director that's made like some, you know, big memorable films, have been involved with, or like, you know, TV projects, stuff like that.
See how their careers expand.
Yeah.
And what they can do with a different budget. Because again, like I said, this movie didn't have a very high budget, and it is a cult classic now. So you have to imagine this movie probably didn't do as well as it does now when it came out. Like now it's such a huge cult classic. It gets watched so much this time of year. They made the TV show about it. the musical has become something a lot like Rocky Horror, where a lot of, like, I'm sad that COVID is a thing, so I can't go see it again this year, but yeah, fuck you, COVID, ruining everything. My favorite time of year, bitch. It's okay. I'm happy that we're doing this franchise now, because it's like, fuck you, COVID. I'm still gonna do Halloween and still gonna talk about the things that I enjoy, despite you. Happy Halloween. But yeah, it's just really incredible to consider how little money went into this for it to still be as big of a film as it is, and it had to have become that I feel like throughout the 90s. I think I was definitely, I think I saw this in like the early 2000s. I saw the second one first, and then I had someone go back and show me like the first, the second, the third, and everything else. So
yeah, I saw Army of Darkness first. That was the first one I saw.
Yeah, because that's the one they show on TV a lot.
Oh yeah, and if I had seen one of the other ones first when I was a kid, I probably never would have watched any other ones, because I've said it before many times. I'm not really a big horror movie guy. I'm not, and it's that, you know. And there was definitely a few moments in this film where I was like, I wasn't scared, but I was so grossed out. I was like,
yeah, it's just gross.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Oh man, Evil Dead. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm kind of excited to watch the next one, because once again, the first two I've only ever seen once each before, and the next one we get where Ash becomes like the Ash that.
Yeah, I feel like the second one is everybody seems to remember the second one better than the first, and then Army of Darkness can kind of stand on its own. Like, they do go together, but it's very different from the first two. But I feel like people mesh the first two films together very often. But the second one is more memorable for a lot of reasons. And I don't want to spoil any of those reasons this week, but we'll definitely talk in detail next week about it. Yeah.
Oh, shit. But anyway, yeah, this looking like it's going to be probably our shortest episode we've done so far since we started with this new format. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that is The Evil Dead, one of the biggest cult classics of all time. Please let us know what you think down in the comments, or if you want to tweet at us, any all that stuff. But yeah, next week, of course, we'll be tackling Evil Dead 2. And, you know, we'll, like I said, we're going to get into the stuff that really pushed the franchise forward. But yeah, it's Halloween time, guys. Let us know what you think of The Evil Dead. And hey, let us know what other cult horror films that you are into, whether they're part of a franchise or not. Let us know about that. Tell us what you like, what you like watching every year for Halloween, whether like to the more bigger ones, like Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. But if they're more cults, like this one, more cult classic.
Like I'm going to do, this year I think I'm going to compare the Suspirias. Like the original Suspiria to the remake that came out a few years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen them both, but I've never watched them like back to back. And this is something that sometimes I nerd out and do. Like if there's a remake, I'll watch both movies back to back and then just be like, all right, this is the one that I like better. I'm very partial to the new one though, because Tom York did the soundtrack, and I'm one of those asshole Radiohead fans that is just like, oh my god.
Oh, I hate you. No, but yeah, shit, man. Remakes. The more we go through these franchises, the more sooner or later we're probably going to start talking more about remakes and reboots.
Oh, I'm sure. I feel like we've definitely already gone through some reboots.
The Terminator franchise is kind of,
And I mean, I would definitely say that Tremors is kind of a rebooted series. Like, you still have Bert, but you don't have any of the original people.
Don't have any original people, and there are continuity errors that we discussed in the most recent films. Which I don't know whether it was done on purpose or just out of laziness, but anyway,
Please just stop making Terminator films, though. That's all. That's my only take.
James Cameron needs. I think James Cameron now has the film rights, so unless he
isn't he too busy with Avatar? Like, doesn't he have like 4 Avatar films planned?
They've finished filming the second one and are partway through the third one. Yeah, it's been kept really under wraps. Like, I haven't seen any set photos, probably because it's just a giant green screen room.
Just a real short, fun story. I went to Catholic school growing up, and I had a religion teacher that would not let my class watch Avatar because it was anti-American propaganda, and I just looked at like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What? We're not the only people that pollute.
But I googled it, and like apparently there's a bunch of people that think this remake of fucking Pocahontas is anti-American propaganda, and it's just like, if you really feel that way, I don't know. Maybe you've just tapped into something, but it's a fucking remake of Pocahontas, you guys. Come on. It's with blue people. That's all it is. Yeah. And I can't believe that song wasn't even in it. Biggest disappointment.
There's probably a
life.
YouTube video somewhere where there's
I'm sure.
just blue monkeys jumping and connecting their pigtails together and what the fuck? Like, ponytails. But
please put that movie in the second film. I'll be more likely to see it.
And all the blue alien people that like somebody's playing it on like a futuristic like iPod.
What is that?
They're walking up to it
anthem.
And they start like tribal dancing to it, and people are like no, this is like club music, you know, and it's too late. They're already tribal dancing and shit, and they're all dancing around the great tree. This is like the new song, the new spiritual song. Blue ba 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 dee ba blue ba ba blue ba dee boo ba ba. We got so far away from the subject matter, but I'm happy. I feel like this is a good, fun way to... But anyway, that's it for this episode of the POVincent podcast. Thank you to the River's Edge for hosting this show. Thank you to Jay for being my co-host. Hope you guys all enjoyed it. If you want to keep up with us, make sure to follow, subscribe, like, wherever you're listening to us to. We're on Libsyn, Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. We're on YouTube. And, of course, we got social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And if you want to support the show, financially speaking, we do have a Patreon, patreon.com/POVincent. But if you don't have any money right now, holy fucking shit, do we understand. Just following, subscribing, all that stuff is helpful right now.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, thank you guys for viewing things from our point of view. Take it easy.